see real easily what's going on above ground, but equally or perhaps even more important is what's going on below ground. And it's as dry as it's been, I'm kind of excited that I can actually even dig a hole. Doubtful we'll find any earthworms today. They're going to be down low because it's so dry. Okay. So this is a lot easier to do when we have some better soil moisture. You see this big chunk here? That's kind of what we're wanting to actually get away from. It's kind of a solid chunk, and we want to see all those roots going through there. In time, that's going to continue to break up that harder piece of soil that's right there. But these right here, these are what we're talking about. So when I squeeze that and it just breaks apart into, those are what I'm talking about when I talk about those aggregates. It doesn't just dust apart. Even as dry as we've been, it sticks together in these, aggregates. And so that is, those are stable aggregates, and what that means for us is that the water is, there's much more air space in this soil versus if it didn't have these stable aggregates. So there's a lot more pore space for water to quickly enter, and then once water is in the soil, these aggregates are very effective at capturing and storing that water. And these aggregates are also made from biological activity. And so they're stable, and so the biology happening in this soil is happening in a much more stable, consistent environment that's allowing those fungi networks to survive and to maintain over time versus being disrupted and torn apart. And that's going to allow our plants to better extract nutrition from the soil and water from the soil, and to also get their roots down deep into the soil. It's so dry that we can't dig down very well, but these roots are going down a long, long ways. And so there's an earthworm channel where earthworms have just gone through the soil, and so all those channels are always very rich in nutrition. And also, again, opportunities for, once it rains again, for water to follow all those channels and quickly enter the soil. And here you can see all these roots moving through the soil. Those are all, there's the rest of the earthworm channel. Those are all helping to create future root channels and opportunities for water to enter the soil. There's an earthworm channel with a root following it to go down and get deeper and get more access to water and nutrition. And so all that work that's being done by earthworms, and then all the fungi and other little critters in here, are stuff that we want to leave in place and not disrupt. There's old corn stalks that are, or corn cobs that are being broken down. And as the soil, what I've seen, as the soil becomes more biologically active, the amount of time that it takes for this residue to break down or disappear increases, because the biology is eating through that residue so much faster. So another thing that we think about in our cropping system is how to keep we as humans want to eat a balanced diet with fruits and vegetables and protein and meat and breads. And so we kind of try to think through some similar things for our nutrition for our microbes in our soil and try to feed them a balanced diet. That's a nodule off of a soybean root. So inside, we were talking about nitrogen earlier. So inside this nodule is a bunch of bacteria, and those bacteria, kind of pinkish brown in color. Those bacteria are taking nitrogen out of the air, essentially, that's going into the soil. So nitrogen, the atmosphere has a tremendous amount of is a very high concentration of nitrogen in the air. And so as the air goes into the soil, these bacteria take that nitrogen out of that air and transform it into nitrogen that the plants use. And so soybeans are a legume plant, which what that means is these bacteria form a symbiotic relationship. They colonize the roots and extract nitrogen from the air and supply that plant with all the nitrogen that it needs. So we don't need any nitrogen fertilizer on this legume plant. And so one thing that is important to us when the crop after this one that we grow, we want to take advantage of that biological nitrogen that's then left in the soil from all the work that those bacteria have done for us. So we will not use as much fertilizer the next time. He's burrowed in because it's getting dry and starting to tie up in that knot. Let's see if I can carefully. See how he's right next to that plant root. There we go.
Oh, woke him up.
Yep. He's not very happy. Isn't that amazing how they tie up like that?
It is.
That's a pretty good shell. For me, that's a good shell. See how sticky he